Happy 500 subscribers. Bonjour, bienvenue à la montagne. As French for hello, welcome to the mountain. So, this is the start of my magna opus. The greatest video I've put out so far, and probably that I ever will. This is something that I've been working on, at least the concept on, for about 2 to 3 years. That's been research, planning, development, so-and-so, so-and-so. And it all kind of looped back around to back in on itself from where I started to where I ended up. This is still constantly developing. However, this is what I found so far. So this is the main weapon system of the Appalachian Sniper Project. Now, this is going to be a quick look at the rifle for now. And please keep in mind, I'm not telling you the brands or anything. I'm just going to tell you the capabilities of said rifle, because this is about a system, not about budget. This is a poor boy version with a Bear Creek upper, and I would not trust my life to that on any actual sniper operation. However, the barrel length and the, well, we'll get into that. We'll get into that and why I chose what I chose. So first off, I'm going to get into a spec sheet of the M110 sniper system that the Army uses, and I'm going to tell you why I was basing everything off of that. And please understand that I looked at everything starting from the ground up. I mean, this has been 2 to 3 years of research, at least once a week, reading recon manuals and looking at sniper teams and stuff. I went through the British manuals and I mean all this stuff to figure out what would have the best capability in an Appalachian setting. So the M110 specifications is M110 is a semi-automatic sniper system in the caliber 7.62 by 51 millimeter NATO, otherwise known as 308. It's essentially the same thing they shoot. It's just one is the metric version and one is the, American version, so to speak. Different ways of measuring the diameter, but you can shoot vice versa. 308 is actually loaded a smidge hotter than the 7.62 by 51, if you did not know. It's the opposite of 5.56 and 223. It's gas operated. Barrel length on the M110 is 20 inches, but the one on mine is 16 inches, and we'll get to that in 1 second. Overall length is 43.5 inches, so on mine it'd be about 38.5. Weight unloaded, approximately 11.5 pounds. Mine weighs about 12.5. Like I said, we'll get to that. Muzzle velocity, magazine capacity, 20 round detachable box magazine. They use the same magazines, the Army version and then my version for the civilian populace. Stock typically is adjustable folding. I used a Luth AR stock for mine. So this kind of delves into why a semi-automatic platform. I just want to hit, in Appalachia, unless you're in a linear danger area like a road, you're not going to hit a shot over 300 yards. That's impossible. It's just mountainous and hilly and mountainous and hilly, and that does not exist around here. Most of your engagements are going to be 250 meters and in, and that is it. And I want to hit on, a lot of people think of snipers as just long-range shooters, but there's a difference between long-range and precision. There's a difference between precision and accuracy. You can be accurate and hit a deer at 500 yards, but you shot it in the leg. That's accuracy. Precision is, I want to send that bullet right in its heart, and I can do that at 300 yards, 400 or 500 yards. I can shoot the bullet right where I want it to go. That is precision. Snipers work in precision. Look at law enforcement and SWAT officers. Most of the time they're shooting within 50 to 60 yards. You can look it up, or 50 to 100 yards. But they're doing headshots, hostage situations, you would not say they're any less of a sniper than somebody shooting 800 meters. But like I said, in an Appalachia mountainous area setting where it's just nothing but brush, or hills, my bad, not mountains, but hills, a hilly setting with lots of brush and lots of cover and concealment. I mean, in the summertime and spring, or in the springtime specifically, you can't even see like 25 yards in either direction unless you get on a cliff face. So there's really no point in having something to stretch out to 800 meters. That's why you can just negate the bolt action, especially, but we just circle back around to right here. The M110 semi-automatic operation allows for rapid follow-up shots, which is a key advantage to close to medium range engagements, which in Appalachia, however you want to say it, is all that we're going to be dealing with. Also accounts for when target movement is in factor. As much as you like to say that everybody is a great shot, especially if they're watching this video, you know, sub to my channel, accidents happen. You get a little bit anxious. I mean, especially if you're aiming a rifle at a bad guy. Well, guess what? Understandable. Also, the mitigation. I mean, it's semi-automatic. I've done a video on this. You don't have to work the bolt after every single trigger pull. It just does it for you. That enables for more consistent engagement of multiple targets or a single target in quick succession. You got 3 goons over there within 200 meters. There might be a chance that you can pick them off. Bang, bang, bang. Versus bang, bang, bang. Even if you get quick with that bolt, you have to move your face to rack the bolt. It doesn't make any sense. Now, if we were shooting 1,000 yards, then yes, a bolt action would be fine, would be sufficient for that. Typically, bolt actions, especially budget bolt actions, are a little bit more accurate. But like I said, guys, for what we're doing in the Appalachian region, you're losing a bunch of capabilities by using a bolt action versus a semi-automatic platform. And that's kind of why I came to this conclusion. And most semi-automatic rifles are going to be accurate enough, or close to accurate enough. I mean, within 200, 250 meters, you can hit upper chest, thorax area right here, or larynx, whatever that is. You can hit upper chest, neck area all day, every day. That's what I train to hit right here, right above the plate. I mean, you can hit that all day within a 6-inch circle at 250 meters. At least I can, and that's standing with these shooting sticks. That's standing with these shooting sticks at 200 meters. So surely in a prone position, or a concealed hide position, you're able to engage targets and at that distance that accurately. So the effective range is for like precision shots, typically on the M110 is 600 meters. Like I said, we're not really dealing with that here, but you can hit full body targets at 800 meters with it. The trajectory of a 308 is not too hard to figure out. That was it for the notes. It's just there's so much. Trying to condense 2 years into, I mean, this is just part 1, but hopefully, I mean, that makes sense. I've done just so much research. I mean, autistically going through TN manuals and field manuals and stuff and researching, and just bear with me, guys. So this is my dope sheet for that, or data on previous engagements sheet on the back of an old Winchester box. I zeroed it at 50 yards. Why would you want to zero it at 50 yards? Because 50 yards on a 308, if you zero at 50 yards, you're dead on at 200 yards. And that means at 25 yards, it's 1.25 inches low, which isn't bad at all. At 100 yards, it's 0.75 inches high, which also isn't bad at all. 200 yards is 0. 250 yards is 5.25 inches low, which isn't bad. And then we get to 300 yards, which is 10.5 inches low. And then 400 yards, said 2 mils high, so whatever that comes out to. But like I said, the reason that the 50 yard zero excels here is because we're not shooting above 250 meters, 300 yards. That it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So like I said, 308 semi-auto capability. I got a SIG Buckmaster 3-12 scope on it with a BDC reticle. I have a kill flash. You want a kill flash on the front to mitigate scope shine when you're, especially if you're looking towards the sun. You see a big glaring object, it'd probably be best in wartime just to shoot at it. I mean, it's that simple. You want a kill flash on your weapon. You don't want anything shining or anything anodized. Always spray paint your weapons, especially if you're trying to be a LARPing sniper out here, you know. I went with a 16-inch barrel because the 308 will still put in work with a 16-inch barrel. I mean, they're, like I said, the engagements we're working with, it really doesn't matter, guys. It'll still clap at 16 inches. I mean, it don't matter. I have a Strike Industries. It's a muzzle brake. It's also for like breaking out windows and pinning down barbed wire. I'll put a screenshot up here somewhere of what exactly it is. I forgot, King Comp, I believe. Got a CV Life Lipod. And like I said, this ain't really about brands. It's just what I got on it. I'm just saying what they are. So I got a bipod on it. I got an extended butt pad here because I was not paying $200 for a kit for this this stock. This is a Luth AR Skeleton. It's like a skeleton style stock. Yeah. So I mean, really, this right here. I don't know what else to say, guys. This is literally perfect. You can get rapid engagements with it. It's not too heavy. I think loaded, it's like 13.5 pounds. And if you can't carry that to get in the concealed position and just hide for days on end, if you can't walk that far, you probably need to ruck more. I mean, let's be honest. This, you know, this is it. This is the system. A semi-auto 308. Spray paint it, camo it, and get it the way you like it. That is the Appalachian sniper system. You have enough firepower to penetrate barriers. You have enough firepower to potentially penetrate some body armor, most body armor probably. You have potential to do some damage, especially on even vehicle targets. If there's a vehicle coming down the road and you're in that LDA like we talked about, and you do have to take that 300-yard shot, I'd say pumping a few in the engine block, literally in rapid succession, especially with a brake like this, pow, 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 wouldn't be a bad idea. Now, here's some upgrades that I would suggest if you can afford it. One, a suppressor. I have it set up right now for recoil mitigation with the brake, but this also has a QD mount for a suppressor. If you can get your hands on a good suppressor, all legally, of course, we used to tax them, I'd recommend getting a suppressor, especially if you're going to start running this at night for night operations. Now, for night operations, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to put a PEC 15 up there if you can afford it. I'll be honest with you. Especially if you're moving to your sniper hide. If you're moving to your hide at night, probably would not be a bad idea to have some kind of IR laser on there to engage targets within like 100 meters. Because you still have that semi-automatic capability. And here's the thing, guys, you can still provide covering fire and suppressive fire if need be. With a bolt action, you cannot do that. You just simply cannot do that. Now, would I recommend carrying a ton of 308 ammo just for that? No. And that's kind of why I have this rig right here. Now, we'll go into what's in this rig, this little micro rig, and what's on this war belt later on. But essentially, it's a Glock or Glock style pistol, takes Glock mags, and I have 4 Glock mags, a tourniquet. I have like 3 more Glock mags, and I have another a Glock on my hip with a full mag in it. And this is complementary to that. Now, if you have a PCC and you want to carry both and have that big bore 308 on your back, be my guest. Most snipers in the military and law enforcement work in teams, spotter and sniper. If you're trying to do this solo, which I do not recommend, you need a spotter. We're gonna go into equipment stuff later. That's a different video. I'm just going over the weapon systems right now. If you're going in solo, this is probably what you need to do. Because you can get 33 round Glock mags, and I mean just as many rounds as you can possibly carry that doesn't sacrifice your mobility and your ability to hide. As many as you can fit is what you want, okay? And this is not for pushing forward in the front. That is not what this is about. This is about returning fire to get the hell out of there. It's about somebody sneaks up on your hide and they just get the jump on you, you pull it off your hip and go. It's for clearing buildings and stuff. You can put a light on it if you need to clear buildings to get up in a room and set up a hide site. That is what that is for, if you feel more comfortable with it. Now, the same thing can be achieved with, like I said, a 9mm carbine, 7.5 5.56 or 7.5 300 blackout. That is up to you. That is your choice. However, especially if you're not using a Glock, just get something with a super high round count to get you out of sticky situations. If I get pinned behind a tree and I'm only carrying 50 to 60 rounds, like 3 mags of 308, because you know that is your sniping system, you're not going to have 200 rounds of it on you. It's just going to weigh you down. You want to get in there, do some reconnaissance, and get out most of the time. If I get pinned behind a tree, you know, you pull this out, bang, bang, bang around the tree. I mean, just in the general direction, and just if you're solo, that's really the best you can do, you know, kind of peek and aim at it, especially if they're 50 plus meters out or 50 plus yards out. You're just trying to get back. You're just trying to keep their heads down at that point and bound back and get back. If you have a team, typically, if you see my SPR video, the spotter will have something with some magnification, and typically it's in 5.56, so they can lay down suppressive fire and they can effectively engage stuff closer in. Now, if you want them rocking a 308 as well, just make sure that somebody has a backpack, assault pack full of ammunition. Make sure you can conceal that. Make sure you got your ghillie suit, your Cobra hoods. The only reason I'm not wearing all that for this video is because it is 34 degrees right now. It is cold. So I had to put a beanie on and I put a helmet cover over it. So you get what you get, right? But yeah, you need something to lay down some fire so you can get out of those positions, or if you shoot one high value target and then multiple start firing back at you, to engage those as well. It would definitely, like I said, you always want to move in teams being a sniper. When I initially started this project, I was trying my best to just push the whole load out and all the equipment and the spotting scope and the night vision capability and everything into one system. And that's where I kind of got that Glock at. I'm like, well, you really can't carry a rucksack full of shit and then have another carbine with you and then the big bore on your back like that. It just, unless you want to run a bolt action that way. But like I said, we talked about the bolt action and your engagements are within 250 meters. And then it was just a big headache trying to figure out, because I know a lot of people, you know, when you think of a sniper rifle, you're thinking of like M24, Remington 700. You know, that's what people think of, bolt action rifles. But this is the modern age, and that's just not it anymore. The Army, the British Army, they use essentially the M110 7.62 by 51 millimeter for all engagements within 600 meters, because it's precise enough. They can lay down covering fire, all the reasons we already mentioned. So that is your answer. Don't go looking anywhere else. No arguments. I've built this from the ground up. If you don't want to listen, that's okay. Please leave your comments and your thoughts down below. Like I said, this is just part one. There's probably going to be 10 parts to this series, so please stay tuned. I've really tried to put all my autistic studying skills into this. You know, it's my magnum opus right here. That's what this is. Something we didn't talk about, I want to hit on. I would definitely put an RMR red dot, small red dot on top of your scope if you do want to clear rooms with it, or not even clear rooms, but if you just don't want the Glock and you just want to carry more 308, or you just want that to be out in your Glock to be your backup, having an RMR on top, especially when moving under night vision, is probably the best thing you can do. I've seen the offsets, and I don't like the offsets. And then on one of my builds, I got a 1-6 Banshee Monstrum on there, and then I got RMR on top, like a little dot on top. And let me tell you, that thing under night vision, that thing in any close range engagement, I mean, dude, it's just, you ain't even got to mount, really. There's no cheek weld involved. You just pull that thing up, there's a dot, bang, bang, bang. That on top of this would be superb. That would actually mitigate and make the Glock seem, it would make the Glock more effective in that sense by making this more effective. It would make more sense so you didn't have to carry an extra carbine with you. Like I said, a suppressor, RMR, and then that's it. There shouldn't be any other thing that I can think of to add to the rifle itself or the system itself to make it any better. This is your answer right here. This is your answer. And if you didn't live in Appalachia and you're watching this, good on you for doing your research. Proud of you, really. I appreciate you. You're still good to 600 meters. I mean, look at the Army standard, and then you could probably push it more if you got better and have better equipment and, better barrel. You probably could. I wouldn't push it past 700-800 meters, but especially if you shoot PRS, start messing with the semi-automatics. People sleep on them. I'm just saying, there's a stigma there. It's like people just can't get past that stigma. But yeah, we're gonna go over the kit overview later. Like I said, this is my magnum opus. Yeah. So let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Need more video ideas? I really appreciate getting to 500. We're just gonna keep chugging. We're gonna keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. Everything I do, I try to give you the best information that I can. But yeah, au revoir. That means goodbye in French. Peace out. See you guys next time on the mountain. Stay frosty, stay safe, and read your Bibles. Real quick before I forget, this is post-production, not post-production, but I just came back to the camera. Some real world examples of, just try to negate that thought of a sniper only shooting at long range out of your head is, the Taliban, that's what they did. Most of their engagements were within hides inside of apartment buildings and stuff, and, the sand huts or whatever, these buildings, and they were always shooting within 250 all the way down to 50 meters, and they were considered snipers, and they were very successful. Now, obviously bad guys, right? Bad guys, but you have to look at the history and what people did, especially in the sniper world, to adapt and overcome. There's a very good book. It's called Fry the Brain, and that's one of the biggest inspirations for this series, and it kind of inspired me, and then it pushed me to the direction of, if a guerrilla force needed to instill fear and overtake a larger force, especially if they were outmanned, the whole mentality of a sniper, I mean, that's the best way to do it, if we're being honest. You can instill fear in a large group, especially if you're unseen. And there's more, I'm getting into more of the psychological aspects of snipers and stuff like that. That's a different part, there's so much to this. But Fry the Brain is a good book if you want to read it. It does go into a lot of the, more bad guys in history and stuff. And sometimes on it, I wish they'd just get to the point. I'm not going to lie. I really just cared about the tactics. I didn't care about the history about it, personally. And a lot of the time, he would tell the story of what they did, and then at the end, he'd kind of give a summary of what they did. Or at the very beginning, he'd give a summary and then give you the whole life's work. We're talking, it was like 40-something chapters, and then you probably could have got it done in 10, So it's a good book. Check it out. Fry the Brain. You'll learn a lot.